Welcome to the Master of Science in Electric Power Systems Engineering information sessions this afternoon. Dr. Baran is here, is going to be talking about the program. I'm Dr. Pam Carpenter, and next I want to introduce you to our team, and our team's here in the room with us as well. Dr. Baran is the director of this program and professor in Power Systems Engineering. Dr. David Lufkeman is the research professor here for the EPSE program. Dr. Lynn White is also a research professor, and I work as the program manager, and I think I've probably been corresponding with a few of you all in the last probably 2 months. So this program was created in 2011, and it's funded by the Department of Energy. And Dr. Baran worked with industry to develop this program to address a critical workforce need for electric power systems engineers. As many of you probably know, there are going to be a lot of engineers in this area retiring out within the next 3 to 5 years. So the reason this program was created was to address that critical workforce need. So it's really a training program preparing you for a career in the power industry. It's a very comprehensive curriculum, which Dr. Baran is going to address today for Smart Grid. There's 7 courses plus the Capstone Projects. There's a professional skills component, which is really important because when Dr. Baran was developing this program with industry, TEMA did a survey of industry to see like what kind of skills do engineers need coming out of these programs. And while the technical skills are very strong for NC State graduates, one of the areas they indicated was there was a need for professional skills, which means the soft skills. It means understanding project management and being able to do that, presentation skills, how to write an email, how to write a memo, and also some of the operations skills. The business of the electric utilities, which Dr. Baran will talk about, really gets engineers geared up to go into utilities and to other areas, learning the different skills of rate making, accounting, and the operations piece. There's also the economics. There's a lot of hands-on labs and projects. This program is heavily supported by industry, and it's really a workforce training program, and this program can be done in 10 months. It's also when you get your MS in Electric Power Systems Engineering, on your transcripts will be a Professional Science Master's, which is recognized as a program that addresses the professional skills component along with the technical skills. Those programs were originally developed for the sciences. I think we're one of the first engineering programs to be a designated Professional Science Master's program. And it is well recognized nationally. I will say too, we are the first program of its kind in the country, maybe even globally. So we're getting a lot of interest in this program. As I mentioned, we have strong industry support. All of these companies have been involved since the beginning, and they're involved currently in the program. In addition, we have a lot of companies interested in working on the Capstone project with us, which Dr. Baran will talk about, and they're heavily involved in that as well. So I'm going to turn this over to Dr. Baran to talk about the curriculum and also the Capstone project.
Thanks, Pam. Hi, everybody. This slide shows the basic components of the curriculum. Again, the goal was to provide an education which will give you a very comprehensive education on power engineering, the necessary skill sets, so for you to go out there and provide the type of engineering that is needed for the smart grid, and provide the leadership for that smart grid. So as Pam identified, what we did is based on the industry feedback, develop a program with these components. It has the basic core, which contains all the basic components of power system engineering. We cover the main components, which is the generation, transmission, and distribution, which includes even the renewables. And for the smart grid, we wanted to incorporate the so-called interdisciplinary components which in this case we identified the two, power electronics and the communication, and then the renewable energy systems. The professional skills, as Pam mentioned, turn out to be one of the essential skills to be successful in industry especially. So we took that challenge and incorporated those into 3 courses. I will cover very briefly. And the other key component is the hands-on. Industry, again, said it's very important to have some hands-on. And to accommodate that, we have actually 3 the remaining. We have the Capstone Project as the final really stage of that component. But we have labs that associate most of the courses we teach, and also to have as much interaction with the industry as possible for students. We have experts from industry participate in the curriculum by teaching course modules as well as providing us the projects for the Capstone project. So I think it's best to go through the actual course syllabus curriculum to give you a better idea about those things. So currently, the program starts during the summer with this fundamentals course. And the idea is to make sure that everybody who will go through this program has the necessary basic core knowledge. And if you look at that course, therefore, it's really the basics of AC circuit analysis, basic notions of power, and basic notions of electromechanical energy conversion, which we cover typically in junior and senior level courses here at our EPSE department. And then in this fall semester, start with the mixture of basic core topics, and then as well as the professional skill courses. On the core side, we start with the power system operation and control, which looks really at the basic bulk level, transmission level system, how it operates and controls. That's one of the core courses. And the other next course is power electronics and utility application. Is that interdisciplinary course where we cover the fundamentals of power electronics and how it is used in power industry, like fax devices. And the other interdisciplinary component is the communication and the SCADA. That's a new course, one of the new courses we are so proud because very few schools in the United States, as well as in all world, has courses that focuses on communication. In this course, we took the resources we have in the department and created this course that covers communication systems as well as the SCADA systems that are used in power. And this is especially, as you may know, becoming the key component of the smart grid. So this course introduces you a very good exposure to these modern communication systems that are being developed or used for large-scale power system monitoring and control. As you can see, the fall semester is our loaded semester. We take 5 courses if you want to do it in 10 months. And the other 2 courses are targeted for this professional skills. And we start with this business of electric utility industry course. And again, this came as a result of the feedback from industry. The feedback was that utility is such a unique environment. It takes for the engineers years to understand their business model, how the utility makes money, their business model. So we took that challenge, introduced this course, introduced, for example, what is regulation, how the utility rate making works, and give them an exposure of this utility regulated as a regulation, the policy, all this stuff. And we were actually very fortunate because the instructor who currently teaches covered this course has been with a local utility for 10 years and is very familiar with those concepts and has been the manager. The next course is complements this and focuses on we call it soft skills component, project management, communication skills, both writing and speaking. So what we did is integrated those two topics. Normally, management is one course you take from the business school, and then the communication you take from English. So we thought it would be best to integrate those two to provide real hands-on training. So while you are going through the project management, you actually form a team, and then you are coached at every aspect of it. You write a proposal, you present the materials, and this course is team taught by a faculty from English department on the communication side, and other again from industry who has an MBA and is very familiar with the project management. Actually, he's the one who has been with utility as a project manager. Really get a hands-on training on those topics. And that, by the way, the last practical one is the first course that leads into the actual capstone project. So in this course, you are introduced to the actual industry-sponsored project. So you will be given the project. Again, the idea is hands-on training. So while you are reviewing this project management techniques, you have an actual project to practice on. So as a result of this course, you actually develop the proposal and the project plan for the capstone project that you are going to do. So it's very much integrated and hands-on. And the spring semester consists of, again, the core topics. In this case, consists of the generation side. We have developed this course to cover the generation. And again, typically, generation is not system level emphasized that much, but it could be challenged to cover not only the traditional or conventional thermal plants, but the new renewable-based plants. And then the last core topic is the on the system protection, because the protection is one of the key aspects of power system engineering. And these specialty highly sought after in industry. And the last technical core there is on the smart distribution system. Distribution is the last component of the power system. With the smart grid is becoming one of the main part of the system that has been upgraded, and with the especially introduction of the renewable, much of emphasis has been now focused engineering. So we decided to introduce most of the smart grid concepts into that class. So we start with the main conventional distribution systems and analysis, and then introduce all the modern smart grid related activities in that class. And then the course ends with this capstone project. Again, the capstone project is designed to provide both a design experience for the students as well as interaction with the industry, because the project is solicited from industry. It's an actual industry-sponsored project, and you get to work as a team with the sponsors from industry on that project, and work at about at least 5 months on that project with industry. I think that's the basic technical part of the program. Let's finish and then we can take it again.
Okay. You have another
Okay.
I think it's the next one.
Huh?
No.
You talk about that one. Okay.
All right.
You want to, at this point, at least for the technical session, if there are any questions, I'll be glad to take questions. Or if you can wait a little bit, we can take questions after the presentation.
Does anyone on the line have any questions?
Hello.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello. Ma'am. I wanted to ask about the summer course.
You may want to type it in the chat.
Yeah, I think that would be best.
So I'm going to ask everybody on the line just in case having some trouble understanding.
Then why don't we go ahead and get in?
I'm sorry, this is being recorded so we can put it online too. So we have fellowships available. There are 6 fellowships this year ranging from $6,000 to $9,500. ABB, Siemens, Duke, and Progress Energy provides those fellowships. So that certainly helps with your tuition and with your other fees as well. And the Capstone Project, I'll turn this back over to Dr. Baran to let him talk about that.
Well, as I mentioned, the Capstone project, the main idea is to expose the students to real-world problems and get them to have a design experience and also facilitate interaction with the industry. And we solicit the projects from industry, and we start working on the project actually beginning of the fall, mid-semester in the fall. So you have about at least 6 to 7 months to work on a project, interact with the industry. We have listed some of the current projects that has, not current, but so far, some of the typical projects we have to give you an idea. For example, are you gonna?
Oh, sorry.
Just wait a minute. Okay. For example, one of the first projects was on substation configuration, and that's really about substation design. You know, the main equipment in power systems are located in so-called substations. That's where all the lines come in, the transformers are there. So design of those systems are one of the biggest engineering activities. Big companies like ABB, Siemens, as well as consulting. So one of the main design is done by those firms, close to the substation design. In the, as everybody, so what they are trying to do is automate and use really the software to help the customers visualize or spec their designs. So this was part of that effort to visualize, to help the customers spec and visualize the substations they want. Students help with that effort. Configuration is that what it looks like, what the packaging is like, things like that. The next one is related to good messaging. It has to do with this. If you are familiar with the communication, one of the most recent advanced communication standards came out is the IT, so-called IT 6186. As new, there is quite a lot of interest, and this is sponsored one of the consulting firms work closely with us. So to help their customers test a certain equipment is compatible with this standard. Since it's new, they need lots of tools. So they tested, for example, the speed. The boost messaging enables these devices to communicate very fast. The last one is related to the renewable integration into distribution. The first one is a typical impact study that you would do if a big customer, like an industrial plant, wants to put a big DG and connect to the utility. So they go through and do a bunch of system studies. So actually this is from local utility engineer who does that. So he sponsored this project, helps students to automate some of the routine things he does. The last one is similar from a utility. Again, the same story. This time it is the storage they want to put to mitigate some of the impacts of the PV the customers have. So they are studying the impacts, and students are working with them to help identify some of the benefits and do the assessment for them. So this type of really actual project and gives you a very close interaction with industry. Even some of them has research flavor actually. Some of them are pretty much very well defined small scale research we do, for example, at the center for this assessment. So I think the students get a very good exposure to what current problems are, what engineering involved in addressing those issues. So this is one of the components we are most proud of, and also, as you can imagine, as Pam indicated, students seems to enjoy and find the most helpful too. Are we done, or are we going to take?
I've got a few more slides. I just wanted to.
Oops.
Here are some of the positions that our students are getting. Again, this is a brand new program, so we've only had 5 graduates, 2 last May, 3 in July, and we've got 3 coming out this May. But these are the types of positions that they're going into.
Teachers are our
Whoops, I'll go back.
last semester from
Yes.
graduates.
Program options, some of you have asked about this. You can either be a full-time student, complete it in 10 months, or you can do it in up to a year and a half. You can be a part-time student. If you're a working professional, we have a working professional document that actually can map out some courses for you. And then a non-degree student, because the fall deadline's passed, you can apply and be a non-degree student and take courses that way as well, and then do a full admission to the program. And then this is on our website, but if you do not have a BSCE, we have several students coming in this way where they're taking the ECE prerequisites here with a B or higher to enter the program. Tuition, people often ask about this, and this is a really great deal. Do it soon, right? Our tuition is the same as the graduate tuition. So that means that if you're in state, it's typically around $10,000 per a year. And if you go to some other programs that are PSM programs, Professional Science Masters programs, you may be paying quite a bit more, double the price, okay? If you do an MBA, or other programs are going to be a lot more than that. So this is a really great opportunity. It's a really good tuition. So I just wanted to address that. If you're out of state, of course, it's typically around $20,000 to $21,000. So what our students are saying, this was in Disney World last year, sponsored by one of our industry members. And the students went down to the IEEE Transmission and Distribution Conference in Orlando, Florida. They really, when we survey our students at the end of each semester, they like the access to the core faculty here at the FREEDM Center. They like the industry experts coming into the classroom as guest lectures because they get that real world, that industry flavor. The hands-on labs and the projects are really relevant to the critical skills that are needed in the workforce. And it's also a community. They felt very supported during the program. So I'm not going to read this, but Kevin Hodges from the North Carolina Utilities Commission, but he just wanted to say that, you know, the program is very impressive. The students are really getting the skills that they need for working in utilities and business consulting and government. Anyway, he also just says that NC State's at the cutting edge with this program. So it's very exciting. This is on our website as well. And for the time I cut out and somehow muted myself, this is being recorded, so I'll make sure this is available to everyone on the call as well. So again, we have our governor's office came to visit a couple of weeks ago, and Governor McCrory's office was most impressed with this program, as well as when we go to Washington sometimes to Congress and to Senate, they're most impressed with this program and how it's having an impact on power engineering, but also on the state of North Carolina because of the jobs that are being created. So this is the end. I'll go back to the beginning here, and I'll just, we'll open it up for questions, and then I'm going to actually go to the chat and see if anyone has questions in the chat. So please just type in. That way I won't have to unmute everyone and we have to hear all that feedback here. I'm sorry?
Somebody asked a question.
Okay. Okay, this is, oh, okay, here we go. We've got a lot of questions. Except, can you hear? Okay. Does the Capstone project necessarily have to be in the smart grid?
No.
And Dr. Varan says no. What are the topics of the Capstone project, which you sort of covered already? Okay. And we'll get through the audio thing. Okay. If I want to take any courses from MSEE, is it possible? So I guess you're looking for courses outside the EPSE program in addition to the EPSE program. And he's asking if he can.
Additionally, they can take.
Yes, so you can do that.
Currently, all the courses that listed there are required.
Okay.
But you can take all of it.
And if you'll, I can, yeah, I'll make sure that this PowerPoint's available online. Any other questions? Samir? Does anyone here have any questions?
So if your GPA isn't at 3, you have to take steps of a non-degree in order to qualify for the program?
Typically, that's how we do it.
Hello?
Some courses to take, so officially you will be accepted as a conditional accept, and then you need to go take those courses. And then
I know someone's on the line. I just want to mention this. If you are an NCSU graduate with a BSCE, you do not have to take the GRE. There's an added benefit there. Someone had a question? When and how can we apply for research assistantships? Well, we don't have research assistantships. It is a separate, and typically if you're looking for a research assistantship here at the FREEDM Center, you would need to go online, you would need to go under the research tab, look at all the different projects, and then contact that faculty member directly to see if there's an opportunity for you there as an RA. Okay. Okay, wait a minute, there's something. If I want to do a thesis after the MSFC, okay, can I switch to MSEE later?
yes.
Yes. Okay, so we answered, yes, you can switch to MSEE later for the thesis piece. This is like, in industry, what specific advantages or disadvantages will be faced by an MSEE as compared to MSMC student?
Well, this program is designed for opportunities in power engineering. So if you are pretty determined or sure you want to get into the power area, MSFC is going to give you definitely a tremendous advantage. As some of our recent graduates clearly listen. But if you are not sure, or you want to be a bit more generic and have a more diverse background, then you will go for the traditional MSEE.
And you're not going to get the industry exposure.
Yeah, then you're just going to do the courses.
And you're not going to get the mini business piece.
That's very traditional, corrected, or yeah, one of the big decisions you have to make. Typically, if pros and cons is very individual, whether you are comfortable going into the power area or you want to still explore and get a general background. Typically, I think one of the important factors is the financial. If you are willing to take the risk and wait a few more years to find a job you like, maybe then you can go a generic degree. Another big thing is the EPSE program we are trying to provide is really the leadership skills. So not only get you a job, the idea is once you get into the power, you will excel and be a leader because those skill sets takes normally years to acquire in industry. So the hope is that indeed you will be promoted much more quicker than you would otherwise.
Do they have to take, if they're international students, do they have to take 9 hours? Is it full-time?
Yes, international has to take at least 9 hours, that's correct. But that's a normal requirement for all the international.
Okay, I'll let you.
Which one?
The last one, can we switch from MSEE, to M?
Well, the last one, can we switch to MSEE from FCE before the start? I don't know what it's, if that's basically you have to make a decision, it sounds like to me, whether you want to go MSE or MSFC. We typically allow students to switch during the first semester because, yeah, I mean, normal, right? It may turn out that it's not something you like. So during the first semester, we typically allow you to switch.
So after completing this program, we can see that a year could be saved. So does that mean that we could attain seniority when compared to an MSE student?
Yes, that's the one I try to explain. The whole idea is with the skill set you are going to graduate, you will be much highly employable than a normal E student in the power sector.
I'm not going to be able to take full time. So do you have courses that you recommend during, it's going to take me 2 years to take it to okay. Do you have courses that you recommend take first rather than later? Obviously, you wait for the capstone. But is there any other classes? Is there a recommended mix of which one?
Yeah, we provide glad to sit down and develop a schedule for individual basis. But we have a kind of prototype program for professionals who are working. Yeah.
Samir, go ahead and ask your question. Go ahead and type it in the chat. Other questions? An online program?
Yeah, online program, actually, we are currently in the process of finalizing at least a draft proposal to the school. Yes, we are considering, but how soon it will be right now at this point, hard to say. Target is fall 2004, but it is just right now at the first stages of development. But we would like, yeah, it's in the plan, the good news. But we will do it, but how soon? Yes, so that's the main target, yeah. It will be much easier.
We have a few more questions. What is the scope for continuing for a PhD and further research after the EPSE program?
Actually, that's another venue. Even internally at the FREEDM here, most of the faculty prefer you go through the EPSE first. That makes it much easier to go on to the PhD because then the faculty gets to know you. It becomes much easier to continue with the PhD.
Can we take 1 or 2 courses outside EPSE, skipping some of the courses of the EPSE courses?
No, currently all the courses that I listed are required courses. You have to take them, but you can take extra, but you cannot just substitute with required courses.
And then there's a question about salary. Good question. Is there any difference compared to an MSE graduate?
There are 2 cases I know among the 5 we graduated, and they have been paid higher than I know the regular fresh start salary. That's the only good news I can share. Is that right?
Yeah. And we're tracking our graduates, but again, they've only been working less than a year, some of ours, since our first 2 came out. Summer course is very basic level. Can we skip it? Additionally, will we be able to join NCSU in the fall? So we would take fall courses initially, right? So a basic course of summer would be after fall semester, which is contradictory. Basic course should be taught first.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the current issues we are trying to deal with. Regarding that question, whether you can skip the introductory course in the summer and start in the fall, it turns out to be much easier, especially international students. And if you have good enough background, we will allow you this year to skip the summer course and come and start in the fall. And then, unfortunately, take the introductory course at the end. And we are trying to accommodate that by not necessarily taking the course and things like that, but taking a test. So we are trying to finalize that scheme, but at least to get started with, we will allow you to start in the fall without having to take the summer course.
I see some private questions, and we'll respond to those a little later, but the public ones I'm going to go ahead and what are the chances of an international student getting a job in the power area after completing the EPSE?
What are our statistics?
Well, we've got one international student that came out last year, and he secured a great job, and he's working the substation. And also we have 3 international students coming out, and I just heard from one this afternoon who is on his 2nd interview with a very large company. They're flying him across the country. So very good chances. And the best thing you can do as an international student, too, is to do an internship as well. That helps your chances. I think I've skipped some places, some questions here. Oh, this is, what's the typical intake strength of an EPSE program? So I'm not really clear what you're asking with that one. Maybe you...
Well, we try on that general answer is accommodate students with a diverse background, but especially with international students, it turns out to be typically is very competitive. So the better, stronger background you have in power, usually it becomes easier to get in as it is right now. The only exception is the working professionals. For those, we even accommodate the ones who does not necessarily have EE. So if you are willing to take those additional courses, then you have a chance, rather than just flat out saying no. We give the students a chance to take those courses and get into the program.
If I miss a few subjects that are not offered in the EPSE course, will I have some disadvantage?
Well, there are always topics that is not covered. That's one of the basic dilemmas. But this program, to my knowledge, covers much wider area of power engineering than any other program I have seen. So that's actually one of the key strengths of the program, that you will be exposed to pretty much every aspect of power engineering. But there are always some specialties that is not covered.
And then as far as the online, currently there are 3 courses offered online. This is still an on-campus program. You may not have heard, but we're working on developing another program that will be totally online, but that's going to be at least about a year out. So, and there are 6 fellowships available for the Smart Grid Fellowship, ranging from 6,000 to 9,500. So we possibly put in a few subjects in software training or power electronics. An EPSE student may not be able to do that. That's that last question there from Samir.
Well, I don't know what you have in mind there, but if you wanted to focus on software engineering very specifically, yeah, you can take extra courses. We have in computer science courses in software engineering.
Esteban was asking if we just got an undergrad PE in power systems, can we skip it?
Yes, again, we allow you to start without having to take the summer course, if you have enough background.
I'll go to the room. Is there any questions? Go ahead. Oh, then we'll take it. Go ahead.
Thank you. It was about the certificate program in Renewable Systems. I asked Dr. Carpenter about that earlier, and Dr. Carpenter said that it's not permitted to take both the FCE master's program and the certificate.
You're double dipping.
Well, certificate is only 4 courses. As long as you take them, you will get the certificate, irrespective of the degree you are in.
Okay, and 2 of the 4 classes are included in the curriculum.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, certificate is a kind of bonus, and double dipping is allowed. But in FCE, whether we graduate, you mean in FCE students whether get the certificate? Oh, okay. Sorry. FCE students are not currently eligible for the certificate. Okay.
Because they're taking.
Okay. Well, we can discuss that because okay, British graduate school. There are always rules.
I've been asked this.
Because yeah, okay.
In that case, after we finish the master's program, we can come back and just take the other remaining 2 classes.
We'll find out. Again, I wasn't aware. For example, I don't know whether in any cases students who started with that's one other option because it's in certificate program and then transfer to FCE, and those courses are counted to my knowledge. Is that right?
I'm sorry, I was reading. I was diverted.
Students who started with the certificate
Okay.
took the 4 courses,
Yeah.
and then they
Switched over. We had some.
yeah, and then those courses will be counted.
Yeah, they're counted towards the FC program.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it can be done. But the other way, that's the logic beats me that if they do not allow, they do not allow. That's usually the graduate school. Some subtleties there I wasn't aware.
You can complete it in 10 months, or you can take up to a year and a half to complete it. Michael Good covered in it. The 553.
Yeah, we covered all the essentials of microgrid in the smart distribution, but necessarily focus too much on the microgrid itself. Is that right? Correct, David?
It might be a lecture.
Yeah, about a lecture.
No.
What is this?
I've opted for the MSCE. If I'm denied access to MSCE, would you consider me for FCE program?
No, unfortunately, you get reviewed only once, so you have to make a choice, either EE or FCE, and then reviewed only once, a given year.
I can't speak to the assistantships. I mean, we talk about fellowships, but I don't know how many are typically awarded through the FREEDM Center.
Yeah, those. We don't have the statistics on research assistantships.
Oh, starting salary?
Do you have any range?
Mm-hmm. Typically between 55 to 65 is starting.
Okay.
That's a beginner. That's an entry level. Like I said, Dr. Brown said some of our graduates are actually getting paid more
On the higher side.
in the higher side. Yeah. And I'll just see if they missed anything. And you apply through the graduate school, so you would go online and apply, do the complete application. You're asking about how to apply. Any questions in here at all in the room?
Your professional taking the courses, the year and a half.
You have up to 3 years for professionals. Part-time. And even if you want to extend, again, technically, you can start taking courses as an NDS, non-degree.
Yeah, that's
You have up to three courses you can take as an NDS, and then start the program.
So that doesn't count.
Yeah, no.
For the question about applying to the fall 13 program, Can you move it without reapplying? No, you have to reapply
Yeah,
each
that's
time.
I have to go.
Oh, okay, thank you for telling me about this.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? Any other questions from online? You can find my contact information, pam_carpenter@ncsu.edu, but it's on the website. And do you have any others? No, salary range is not 35 to 55. It's 55 to 65. Oh, I understand. You didn't understand. Yeah. Wow. Well, can I just say my part about Raleigh, North Carolina? The reason there's a whole area of talent acquisition, and we have a clean tech cluster here in North Carolina. And so everybody's sort of tired of trading engineers, so we're trying to get new engineers, and there are companies moving to Raleigh because it's considered the smart grid capital. 3 hours down the road, we have Charlotte, North Carolina, which is transitioning from a finance area to an area that's going to be energy. So North Carolina is well set for power engineers, and I'll let Dr. Bravon respond about North Carolina or nationally too, for the current job scenario.
Yeah. Well, you articulated well. Still, in general, I have just anecdotal, very limited first-hand knowledge what the hiring is like, but I guess anecdotally, hiring in power sector is very, very strong. Especially, it looks like the small companies, startup companies, are the ones really looking for new engineers. It's a niche market.
We have 2 utilities that just merged, and Duke Energy is the largest utility in the country. So they'll have offices in Charlotte, and they'll have some people here as well. Okay. International, it would be both. It depends on your skills when you come out of the program. Depends on if you've had an internship. There are a lot of variables there. The next 1 or 2 years. Okay. Yeah, the program is ongoing, but yes, it's 10 months, and again, you can have up to a year and a half, and then if you wanted to take additional courses, you could take them after that. Great. Okay, well, thank you, everybody, and again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I want to thank everybody in the room here for being here today, everybody on the call. So, great, thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. Look forward to having you in the program.